The introduction. I am delighted to be sitting down tonight with our very own Roy Diaz. As many of you know, Roy has been on this journey to become a professional spiritual development speaker. And he set off on this journey about 7 years ago. And tonight I have the opportunity to ask him all about it. So we're gonna chat about how it started, how it's going, and where he sees himself going in the future. All right, so to start us off, Roy, I wanted to ask you the first question that popped into my head when I heard this job, spiritual development speaker. So can you please tell us what exactly is a spiritual development speaker?
So a spiritual development speaker is really a journey. It's teaching people and anyone who's listening really that there's more to this material universe than the material universe. It's going into that awareness behind the vessel, behind the body. It's being able to get to know the true essence that's in the body. It's a very spiritual path, right? It's a spiritual development, it's a very spiritual path. And as a spiritual development speaker, I'm helping people connect to their spirit, helping people connect to who they really are, behind the limiting beliefs, behind the trauma, the emotion and meaning that they attach to these experiences that created the trauma. Once you clear that, you actually get to the true essence of who you are. And that's what spiritual development is in a nutshell. And that's my job as a speaker.
Yeah. Wow, I love that. I think maybe we've all seen sort of some people doing this out in the world, but it's really nice for me to get a clear job title on that, and I think you spoke about that very eloquently. So you're on this path to become a spiritual development leader full-time, right?
Yes.
I was wondering, what are you doing logistically to make that happen? How are you going about this? How are you living your life to make that your full-time career?
Love this question, Alex. This wasn't really something that I actually could see being fulfilled until this year.
Yeah.
Until I had enough belief in myself to actually take, like you said, the necessary steps. I realized I couldn't just wish for it. I couldn't just hope that this was gonna happen. So what I started doing was calling different places where I can go and speak at open mic nights, or I can speak for free and just offer my time, show people that there's value in what I'm doing, and there's a message, there's a clear message. And I recently just actually did my first speaking gig. It was a 30-minute free speaking gig at this place called Third Eye Healing, which is the spiritual community that I actually want to speak for. And I was able to go and to just share this my awakening story and a message of hope. And it was so surreal to be on that stage. But that's what I foresee, in a sense. Going to different events, speaking, networking, and be willing to connect with people and show them, and be in front of them, getting in front of the right people, and sharing this message, event by event by event. So
can you tell us, like, in this event that you just had, what was your message to them? Do you have sort of like a prepared speech, or how do you do that in those events?
I love using spatial structure, where I use a timeline from 22 to 23, 24, all the way up to now. And I go into bits of that year. I share specific details of my story, and that's really it. Just how I even started this path from 22 to where I'm at now, and sharing the lessons, the pain, the struggles, the real life experiences that people go through.
Yeah.
Like really letting them, and letting out that vulnerability and letting them know, hey, it's hard sometimes. It hurts sometimes. But if you keep walking, you're gonna find yourself, right? It's just everything that I've learned in the last 8 years of my life. I put it in my words and I leave it on the stage, and that's pretty much it.
Well, actually, that's a beautiful segue into my next question, because you talked about where you started. So what was the impetus for this? How did it all start? You said 8 years ago? Yeah. So what was the spark that brought this dream to life?
Well, at 22, I'm 30 now, there was a point in my life where everything fell apart. Like everything. I got cheated on. I got myself a DUI that cost me $10,000. I lost all my friends. I lost my job. I got a slip disc. All these series of events back to back to back to back. I was an alcoholic. I was drinking every other day, half a bottle of Bombay. And I went to sleep one night. I don't know why, for whatever reason, this question popped into my head. Is this going to be the rest of my life? And right there and then, I was under the influence. I was drunk. I said, no, it's not. And I made a choice that night to do one thing to better my life. And I woke up the next morning, I worked out, and then I came across this video called Why I Have No Friends, which is my life story right there and then. You come across something that literally explains your situation. And that got me into personal development. And that's when I actually started learning real information, knowledge that helped me grow. And that's how this spark started. So after that, I just went on to learning like crazy.
Well, I mean, that's incredible to take what sounds like it was your rock bottom and turn it into something that is not only really positive for you, but also positive for, a lot of other people. You're bringing that message out. So that's really cool. So did you have anyone, because like I said, this is such a unique path. Did you have anybody, 8 years ago showing you how to do this? Like anybody online? I mean, anybody in your life? Did you see this, or did you come up with it on your own? How did you find this journey?
Thank God, Alex, I had mentors. It was a gift in disguise. You don't even know how much easier it is with guidance. Like when you learn how to walk and mommy and daddy are there holding you, it's so much easier. Or you're learning how to ride your bike, it's so much easier with guidance. But yeah, I came across that video of Why I Have No Friends. That was my first mentor. I even met him in person.
Oh, really?
I traveled to Miami. It was a one-day event, and I learned so much from just watching his YouTube videos. And from that mentor, then I had a business mentor, and that's when I started. When I manifested my dream of a personal training studio, and I met this 60-year-old multi-millionaire. Like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I was so blessed, and we ended up working together. And for 2 years, he was my in-person mentor, and I learned he had his own business, and he taught me how to run a business, and everything that I needed to know. And last but not least, my most recent mentor. He taught me how to run a spiritual business. I had no idea, and I worked under him. I helped him. I worked to learn, not to earn, and I helped him with the coaching programs. I assisted at spiritual retreats. I helped with his courses, just regulating the community. I had for 2 years just all this experience that I was able to gain, mentor after mentor after mentor. And that's what enabled me to grow at a rapid pace. Wow. Because it would have been different without it.
Yeah, I mean, mentors are so powerful. So you're not still working with that
right.
Last one?
I am.
Oh,
But it's more. It's a slower process now.
Sure.
Because I'm really trying to find my own way now too. So it's like he's there whenever I need him. That's so beautiful.
And so what is his, you said a spiritual business, what is his business?
So he's doing literally what I want to do. He has a YouTube channel, 300 plus thousand subscribers. He has his own communities, online communities. He runs retreats. He helps people find their purpose. I joined his program 3 years ago, and that's what gave me my whole foundation. That's how I even met this guy. So. Yeah, he's doing exactly what I want, and you learn from the best.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I actually messaged him today.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's so nice to have somebody, an example that you can follow. So very cool to hear he's still in your life. So Roy and I met up to kind of prepare for this interview, and I know from our previous conversation that a pivotal moment in your journey was this spiritual retreat that you took to Sedona. So I was wondering if you could share with everybody a little bit about what that was like and why it had such a profound impact on you and your journey.
That was definitely the most profound and the most pivotal experience I've ever had. On top of all, even at the age of 22 and what happened. 3 years ago, I drove to Sedona in my car, and I attended this 4-day retreat. I was planning on coming back, but I never came back to Chicago. I stayed in Sedona with just my luggage, my car, and a dream. And it's funny, what always looks like a disaster, it's such a gift, because I lost all the clients that I had. Mm-hmm. And it just seemed like, how am I going to make it?
Your personal training client?
No, my coaching.
Oh, your spirit. Okay, so you were doing that then.
Yes, I was. Okay. Yeah, I was going into coaching clients,
okay,
as a life coach.
Gotcha, I see.
And it seemed like the odds were against me, but I made the choice and I stuck with it. And it didn't matter to me if I had to stay in my car, if I had to sleep in my car, if I had to fast to save money on food. It didn't matter. I made up my mind. It was better than going back to drinking, to a relationship that I didn't want to be in anymore, and I broke that relationship off 2 days before the retreat. Everything that was waiting for me in Chicago, I didn't want anymore.
Yeah.
So I made the choice to stay there. I was making it up month by month, going into, I loved my stay in Phoenix. I was staying at Airbnbs, mm-hmm, walking around the parks. I was able to get some more clients along the way, nice, making content. I felt so free. So free to be able to travel city to city in Arizona and do what I've been wanting to do for years.
Nice. So that really solidified kind of what your dream for yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
So we need to wrap things up, but I wanted to end with some sort of takeaway. So if you had one message that you could give to the world, or just this room in this instance, what would that message be?
Don't believe those thoughts about who you're not. Meaning, that voice that's telling you can't do this, that voice that's telling you you're not enough, you're not worthy, you don't hold value. It's a lie. It's illusory. It's not true. And that voice is not your friend. If you can pay attention more to the voice of your spirit that's telling you can, that you can do anything, to take the risk, to take the jump, you're going to get very far. And you're going to realize how much infinite potential you always had in you. You're really going to get to discover who you came here to be. So I would listen less to that voice that's telling you can't do something, more to the voice that's telling you you can.
That's awesome.